John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, I'm going to show you guys how not to make nut milk in your vertical or other style juicer. Today I happen to be using the Nama J2 juicer, which is my favorite juicer, and surely there are many influencers and people on YouTube making videos showing you guys how to make nut milk, which is modeled after how Nama shows you guys how to make nut milk by basically taking 2 cups of soaked almonds overnight. After you soak them, it'll expand into maybe 3 cups of almonds. You're then going to go ahead and add it to 2 cups of water, which actually is what I'm going to do right now. And then you're going to have a bunch of nuts in the water. You're then going to go ahead and set up your juicer for juicing. And then you're going to go ahead and turn the juicer on. Then you're going to want to make sure your spout cap is closed. You're going to go ahead and turn the juicer on. And what you're going to simply do is ladle in some of the nuts and the water at the same time. Once again, make sure your spout cap is closed. I got a ladle here. And we're just going to go ahead and ladle it into the top of the machine. The water and the nuts will feed in the machine. Once again, make sure you guys have that spout cap closed. And soon enough, you'll see a white, milky liquid coming out of the juicing screen. So you're just going to go ahead and take spoonfuls, even amounts of water and nuts, and spoon it through the machine. And actually, we're just going to go ahead and speed this part of the video up for you guys and come back at you when I'm done. Alright, I want to stop right there and let you guys know a few things. Number one, I forgot to mention that instead of 2 cups of water that is normally recommended, I'm actually using 3 cups of water because I don't want my nut milk as strong tasting. Plus, I want to make a little bit more nut milk compared to the amount of almonds that I'm using. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep this spout cap closed until the bowl here fills up with nut milk. I don't want it to overflow, so we're just going to go ahead and let some of the nut milk out. But we're going to let the rest of it kind of ring around in there. Normally when I'm juicing, I do not recommend that you guys do this, but I want to try to, get that nut milk that's in there as rich and as thick as possible. And I think we pretty much are down to the last bit of nuts and water, so we're just going to basically pour that in the machine and dump all the nuts in to the Nama J2 juicer. Now this is the way that normally people advertise, and Nama will tell you how to make your nut milk. And as you guys can see, whoa, it's totally working. The nut pulp is coming out over on this side, and we got a whole bunch of nut milk in there. Once you're done, you could then go ahead and open this up and check it out. You can see some amazing nut milk coming out. And you're going to let this run until the nut milk stops flowing and the pulp stops moving out the outlet where the pulp normally comes out at. Alright, so once the juicer's done, everything's stopped dripping. I like to always tip the machine up and get any last bits of nut milk out in this situation and just let it sit there and drip a little bit to make sure we got it all out. The other thing I want to do is we're going to go ahead and close that spout cap, and we're just going to go ahead and open this little pulp chute and get out all the almond pulp that came out of the machine and just drop it down into the pulp receptacle. Alright, so while you can use this method to make nut milk, which is how most people with juicers make nut milks, I don't recommend you guys doing this. Well, it does make nut milk, and once again, we started with 3 cups of the water, and then after we juiced the almonds to make the nut milk, we made approximately 3.5 cups of nut milk, so we basically added a 1/2 cup to the water, and then we have this stuff right here. The issue I have with this stuff is that the juicer is not as effective as other appliances you guys may already own to make nut milk. To me, this kind of looks like a nut butter that's all stuck together, right? If we try this to eat it, I mean, to me, this is not quite a nut butter because it's not really rich and fatty. But there's still some fat and good nutrients in the nut pulp that came out. In addition, this could be broken down a little bit better. I'm seeing a lot of shell fragments in there. So, because you're putting the nuts through the machine, the nuts go through the machine, get, ground up at a low RPM, which is great. The nuts pretty much immediately come out of the machine. You're not breaking open all the fibrous cell walls of the nuts to extract all the beneficial phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals from the nuts. So now what I want to show you guys a better way to make nut milk with your juicer. So we'll put this off to this, we'll just keep that in the center there. And how we're going to do that is actually we're going to have an intermediary step. Instead of just, spooning the nuts and water into the juicer, we're going to go ahead and first vacuum blend. So we're blending without the oxidative damage to have less oxidation and less oxygen added into the mixture. Once again, the same 3 cups of water. And we're going to go ahead and drop in the same 2 cups of soaked nuts, which then turned into about 3 cups of nuts for me. We are using a Blendtec blender today with a special void vacuum lid. This vacuum lid turns any Blendtec blender into a vacuum blender. Link down below to my video on the void vacuum lid that you guys can buy. Also put a link down below if you want to buy directly at Void Systems with my special coupon code to save $25 off. I really like this vacuum lid because it makes vacuum blending really simple and easy. You don't need any separate pumps or contraptions. Built into this lid here has the batteries that last pretty much a month, and it has dual pumps to pump twice as fast as other vacuum blenders. So we're just going to go ahead and turn this on. We're just going to go ahead and hit the go. And if you guys hear, the pumps came on, and what's happening is the pump is pumping all the excess oxygen out of the headspace, as well as some of the dissolved oxygen, even in the nuts and the water. If you guys look at the bottom closely, you might be able to see some air bubbles rise up from the bottom where the nuts are. That is actually just sucking out all the air bubbles. Before I know it, this vacuum pump is done. So we have achieved a sufficient vacuum. Next step is we're just going to go ahead and blend this up on high. Alright, so I blended it for about 45 seconds. So we basically blended up the water and the nuts. This is normally how nut milk is made, and then it's normally wrung through a nut milk bag. If you guys are looking for a nut milk bag, I could recommend alexasbags.com. They're the best nut milk bags. We're then going to go ahead and let out the vacuum. Let the air back in, and then we're just going to go ahead and lift this lid right off the blender. And as you guys can see, we got a pretty homogeneous mix of water and the nuts. And not my opinion, but the fact of the matter is that the blender is a much more efficient appliance at breaking down and breaking open all the fibrous cell walls of those nuts so that you could extract a more rich, deeper, creamier, because you're extracting more fat nut milk, right? And we did that under vacuum to boot, so we're not getting the oxidative damage that's occurring that you're normally going to get with a regular blender. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up the Nama J2, and we're just going to go ahead and pour in this mixture into the Nama J2. Alright, so now that we got our mixture emptied out in there, what we're going to do next is shut the lid. I'm going to go ahead and put another collection glass underneath here and turn the Nama J2 juicer on. And in this situation, I'm just going to go ahead and leave the spout cap open. We don't need to close this. What's happening now is that the Nama J2 is feeding all the ground up blended, vacuum blended nut milk, the pulp and the liquid through the machine. As you guys can see, we got the pulp coming out over on this side, and we got the delicious milk coming out over on this side. I think in order to save you guys some time, we're going to come back at you when the Nama J2 is done milking that vacuum blended nut milk. So the Nama J2 is finally done processing the vacuum blended nuts and water combo, so we're going to go ahead and turn that off. I will say that this did take longer than just ladling in the nuts because, you know, when you're putting in a whole bunch of basically straight water with nuts only, the juicer is more effective at handling because literally the water just rushes through the machine fairly quickly without literally grinding up and extracting the nuts all that well. So this process does in fact take longer. So we're just going to go ahead and once again tip this machine up to get all the last drops of the delicious nut milk out. So now I want to show you guys the difference that if you did the, vacuum blending and then putting the mixture through the Nama J2, the difference it makes, all right? So number one, we definitely got more nut milk when we processed it, just ladling in the nuts, than you know, when we did it the blender way, because there'll be some excess residual still left inside the juicer that did not get processed, as well as some of the residual left inside the blender that we couldn't scoop out. That being said, we did yield pretty much right over 3 cups, maybe almost 3 1/4, not quite. On this one we had 3 1/2, so it made, you know, a bit more nut milk. But the amazing, you guys can't really see the difference because both these to you guys on the screen look pretty much the same. They're just like a watery, white, kind of nutty liquid. We'll be kind of turning to those in a second. But what is really noticeably different is the pulp that was generated by each of these. All right, so once again, ladling water and nuts, this is what we got. It kind of looks to me like nut butter. And then if we put through the pre-blended, vacuum blended nuts and water, we got this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this out on a tray here, both of these at the same time, so you guys can see the difference. And I want you guys to honestly tell me which one looks like a better extraction. Which one is a lot more lighter in color? Lighter in color means it got it more dry and more nutrients out of the nuts. I mean, seriously, this doesn't quite look like an almond butter, but I mean, it's pretty buttery. It still sticks together in my fingers, and when I take this stuff, I mean, there's not a lot of oil left in it. It drops off my fingers. This stuff sticks, you know, to my fingers. This stuff drops off. This is definitely a lot more, I'd say dry. This still has some moisture content in it, a lot more fat content in it. This has been basically wrung out or ground up better and, you know, extracted more nutrition out of your nuts, right? Here's the thing, guys. When you guys watch my channel, I'm not just gonna show you guys the ho-hum way to do things. I'm gonna show you guys the best way to do things. Because, you know, my name is John Kohler. I'm the #1 world's expert in juicers and extraction technologies for fruits and vegetables, as well as nuts and seeds, because this has been my life for the last 27 years. I've owned this business, Discount Juicers, selling juicers and other equipment online for over 20 years. And I experiment with these things in every day, in every way, and always use my brain to like, hey, how can I do this more efficiently? Because like you, maybe some of you guys like have millions of dollars and you don't care if you waste your nuts and you have a lot of fat and good nutrition left in this nuts that now you're gonna throw away because that influencer that you guys normally watch are showing you guys how to do it this way, right? I'm not gonna do that. I want you guys to get all the nutrition out of your fruits and vegetables as well as your nuts and seeds by doing the practices and using the equipment that'll do it in the best way possible. That's why I have this channel, to share my information so that my information can help others, you know, extract the most out of their nuts as well as fruits and vegetables. And that's why I have so many different comparison videos where I compare juicers side by side so that you guys could find the right juicer for you. You know, I happen to love the Nama J2 because it is convenient and easy. Most juicers you could do this same process with, but you'd actually have to sit there and pour in a little bit of the blended mixture at a time. With the Nama J2, I could basically load up this hopper with the whole mixture, turn it on, and like literally walk away, let the machine work while I'm off doing other things in my life. And if you guys enjoyed this episode and the education that I give you guys and are looking to buy the Nama J2, I would encourage you guys to visit Nama at their website, namawell.com. Link is down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. And I want to save you guys $55 off because my company name is Discount Juicers. I'm always here to get you guys the best deal, but more importantly, also give you guys the best information through my YouTube channel, as well as, you know, the support I can provide over email. So you want to use the coupon code NUTMILK55 at namawell.com. That'll save you guys $55 off your Nama J2 juicer so that you could make, you know, nut milk this way, or in my opinion, the better way that I share with you guys. Now, when you guys use that coupon code, not only will you save $55, but Nama will share a small commission with me that allows me to buy my nuts, to power my lights, to pay my editor, so I'm thankful. And I want to thank you guys who have used my coupon in the past and will use my coupon in the future. This allows me to continue to make these educational videos, to share all my knowledge and all what I've learned about using the different equipment to process fruits and vegetables and other plant foods in the best way possible so that you guys can benefit from it, all right? So yeah, that's the big difference in the pulps, but now let's go ahead and get into the difference of the milks. While the water and nuts alone did make more nut milk, right? To me, I believe that's gonna be a lot more watery because, I mean, there's nutrients left in this pulp. So first I'm gonna go ahead and try the nut milk made the normal way that people normally do with water and nuts. We're just gonna go ahead and try a little bit there. Man, to me, that's like slightly flavored water. It's really not rich, not thick at all. A matter of fact, some blended mixtures that you make a nut milk recipe in the blender, you could use, they recommend 1 cup of nuts to 5 cups of water. I think that's too much. In this case, we used 2 cups of nuts that were soaked, expanded into 3 cups, and then we used 3 cups of water. Of course, if you don't want it as thick, you could, use less nuts and more water. I think that many juicer companies will say use two cups to nuts to 2 cups of water and make it thicker because their machines are not efficient at conserving the fats and extracting the fats. So, using this way, you could actually use less nuts and get a similar product. So let's go ahead and try the nut milk that I like. Look at that, man. I don't know if you guys see the density on that, but it's even a little bit thicker, not as watery when I pour it out. Let's go ahead and try this one. Wow, guys, seriously? I mean, if you don't believe me, you need to do this yourself. This tastes like water with it tasted like nut milk a little bit. It's not creamy at all, man. Let's face it, this is basically watery. Doing it the blender method first, using the NAMA the second method. This is truly nut milk. It is thick, rich, and creamy. This is the best way to make nut milk in your juicer, hands down. And this is the way I recommend. Once again, vacuum blending with the NAMA J2 for the best nut milk ever. Nice, thick, and creamy. Now, if you guys want to store your nut milks for several days, then I'd recommend watching the video down below where I share with you guys how to store your juice for up to 7 days. And if you store your nut milks in a vacuum, like I showed you guys, you can store it for longer than you normally would if you just make it and use it fresh. That being said, I will also tell you guys straight up that making a nut milk, in my opinion, is definitely better and more sustainable for the planet than drinking, animal milks. That being said, I encourage you guys, instead of making a lot of nut milks, is to make vegetable juices, especially green vegetable juices. My personal opinion is that the green vegetable juices are so much more incrementally healthier for you to drink than a nut milk. Now, why would I say this? Really quickly, when you're making nut milk, you're adding 2 things together: almonds and water. So the nut milk is only as good as the water, but also you're basically diluting the almonds with water and extracting some of the nutrition out of the almonds. When you juice vegetables and fruits, you're basically extracting the water that the vegetable contained or the fruit contained, which is structured water, which is not happening in the case of the nut milk water that you're using in most cases, unless you have a water structuring device on your house, at your house. In addition, you're going to get a lot more phytonutrient and vitamin and mineral bang for your buck and less fat to boot. So that's what I'm going to tell you guys. Green juice for the win. I know a lot of you guys might not want to add your green juice to your cereal, but you might want to try it because that's definitely going to be healthier. But of course, if you guys want to make the nut milk to get off the dairy, I believe that is a move in the right direction. Like literally a move in the right direction. And I would encourage you guys to do it my way, the way that I'm showing you guys, instead of the traditional way that most people make their nut milks, ladling the water and the nuts. When I see videos of people ladling water and nuts, I cringe because I know there is a better way to do things, and that's what I'm showing you guys on my channel. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, share with you guys the best way to make nut milk that nobody else is doing online. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, more importantly, please be sure to share this video with other people that own a NAMA J2 or own other juicers so that they can see the best techniques and best ways to make nut milk using a vacuum blender and then using the NAMA J2 to extract a full-bodied nut milk where you extract a lot more nutrition and fats out of the pulp like I did today. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes. I'm coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. I'm always dropping my juicing knowledge bombs on you guys and comparing and contrasting all the different machines so that you guys get the best machine for you. Also, make sure you click the bells to get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. Our past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 600 episodes at this time on this channel dedicated to teach you guys all about the different appliances, juicers, and vacuum blenders to extract the most from your fruits and vegetables. Links down below in the description of some of the videos I made in the past with the NAMA J2. videos such as why the Nama J2 is my favorite juicer, how you can bulk juice your leafy greens and root vegetables in it, and as well as how the Nama J2 will get you back juicing if you formerly had a different style juicer before. It is one amazing machine, and you know, this is the machine that you guys should consider. And if you guys once again want to get it, save $55 off using that coupon code NUTMILK55, link down below, to go directly to Nama and save your 55 bucks. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.